From a brand new species of jellyfish to a poor marine mammal who has taken to eating trash, these monstrous creatures have been found washed up on shores worldwide. But first, do you have any idea how big sea turtles can grow? Well, you're about to find out. Number 10. One enormous sea turtle. For most of us, it's extremely rare that we see sea turtles. That's why we don't really realize just how big they can get. Take this fine specimen for example, which was so big that people had to use a crane just to move it. This turtle, which washed up on a beach in Calais, Spain, measured a staggering 7 feet long. Naturally, seeing something this large for the first time shocked the residents of the area. Just to give you an idea of how big and heavy this creature was, local officials had to call in an excavator to lift it up. The sad thing is, this wasn't a rescue operation. The turtle, which was later identified to be a leatherback turtle, was already found dead and in an advanced stage of decomposition. Its colossal body was sent to the Veterinarian Department of Autonomy at the University of Barcelona for professionals to conduct a post-mortem. This particular specimen was weighed to be around 200 kilograms. Pretty hefty if you ask me, but believe it or not, there are much larger sea turtles out there. Number 9. The hoodwinker sunfish. The hoodwinker sunfish is much larger and sleeker than any other species of sunfish, sometimes weighing as much as 2,000 kilograms. These massive fish prefer the temperate waters of the southern hemisphere and can be found in the waters surrounding Chile and even New Zealand. That's why it was particularly surprising when this particular specimen was found all the way up in California. It was found by an intern at the University of California who spotted the creature at the Coal Oil Point Natural Reserve. Authorities were immediately informed of this discovery, and when scientists later found out about the discovery, they were absolutely baffled on how something this big could be so far away from its home. Oh, and just in case you were wondering why this fish has such a weird name, it's because they, quote, hoodwinked researchers for over a century. For over 125 years, specimens of this species were mistakenly identified, until a recent study in 2017 identified them as a new species, patiently waiting to be discovered. In fact, the specific name for this species, tecta, is Latin for hidden or disguised. Number 8. A giant red blob? On the shores of Peaks Island, Maine, a family encountered a massive red blob of jelly. Wanting to know how big it was, Mum Danielle Ivers placed her 3 children next to it and, to their surprise, was much bigger than the 3 of them combined. According to biologist Nick Record of Bigelow Labs, these creatures, commonly known as the lion's mane jellyfish, were only a bit larger than a dinner plate in the last few years. However, these red jellies have been getting bigger and bigger. With how it's originally measured, it sure does come off as a surprise to learn how massive these jellyfish can get now. Seems like they've been getting quite a growth spurt. Other lion's mane jellyfish have been spotted in other places. In late April 2020, Suzanne Beaulieu and her husband encountered one just at the edge of the surf at Ferry Beach State Park. According to her, the jellyfish was about 6 feet wide and had tentacles that were around 20 feet long. That's one massive jelly. Number 7. Giant squid. You wouldn't normally see these gigantic sea creatures near the surface, as they're usually found deep within the ocean, so imagine the surprise of the people when a giant squid was found washed up on a beach near Wellington in New Zealand in 2018. The humongous cephalopod was found by brothers Daniel, Jack and Matthew Applin as they were trying to find a perfect diving spot in the coastlines near Red Rocks. The brothers contacted the National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research to have the squid removed. Measuring at an amazing 4.2 meters or 13 feet long, this gigantic creature was a sight to see. Since giant squids usually spend their time deep in the ocean and rarely go up to the surface, reasons are unknown as to how the said squid ended up on the shore. Now, if you think that one was already big, then you would be surprised to learn that there was another one bigger than that. This wasn't the first time that one of these deep-sea dwellers washed up on the shores of New Zealand. Back in 2015, a 23-foot giant appeared on the beach in Kaikoura. Now that's what you call huge. Number 6. Brand new jelly. Believe it or not, this formless thing that looks like vomit actually is an unnamed new species of jellyfish. In fact, it's a brand new species of lion's mane jellyfish that has been rarely seen before. Stretching 1.5 meters wide, this specimen was found at Howden in Tasmania. Research scientist Lisa Ann Gershwin told Guardian Australia that this one was among the biggest she's ever seen in her whole career. She then added that there are even bigger species out there in the Arctic, but no other jellyfish found in Australia have grown to that size before. This specimen represents one of 3 new species of lion's mane found in Tasmania, and Gershwin is working hard to classify and name them. That said, she is quick to clarify that this jelly isn't new due to its size, it's due to its unique structural features. The fact that this blob is almost as big as a car is just a bonus. And here's a fun fact for you, this discovery wasn't made by a seasoned scientist, but rather by a 12-year-old boy named Xavier Lim, and he found it completely by chance. Number 5. One enormous oarfish. This deep-sea dweller was discovered on a Mexican beach near La Paz in Baja California. Measured at about 20 feet, oarfish are rarely found in the surface waters. These serpent-like creatures are normally found in tropical and temperate waters and at depths of 600 to more than 3,000 feet. Encounters with oarfish are so rare that the times people have seen them at the surface are either dead or dying. However, this oarfish wasn't the first of its kind to be washed up on the shore. In fact, hundreds of them have been found on beaches, usually before something terrible happens. The oarfish has earned a reputation as a bringer of disaster. Specifically, it's believed that they are the heralds of earthquakes. Back in 2011, when Japan had experienced a catastrophic earthquake, an unsettling number of oarfish had disappeared on the beaches from December 2009 to March 2010. This led to people spreading rumors and believing that the said creature is a bad omen and would show up right before large earthquakes. A similar thing also happened in the Philippines, when on the 8th of August 2017, a day before a magnitude 6.6 earthquake hit the northern part of the country, 2 of the serpent-like oarfish were found on the beach. Reports say that one was 12 feet long while the other was 14 feet long. Number 4. Megamouth shark. A lot of people think that this massive creature is a man-killer, basing their beliefs on the creature's name alone. But that is so far from the truth, as megamouth sharks are gentle giants and mainly subsists on plankton and krill, just like its bigger cousin the whale shark. Megamouths are a species of shark rarely seen by humans. That's why when this 15-foot behemoth was found near the Philippine coastal village of Gubat, Sorsogon, posts of the discovery quickly made social media traction. It's said that these fish can live up to 100 years. They're so difficult to spot because these things can live as deep as 15,000 feet below the surface. So not only are they unreachable, they live in the pitch black too. So even if you were down there, you won't see it even if it was right next to you. Megamouths are also one of the largest shark species, measuring up to 16 feet long and weighing around 2,700 pounds. Megamouths were first discovered in 1976 by a US Navy research vehicle that surveyed Hawaiian waters, and there are only 269 specimens that have been found worldwide. And with that, it's now time for today's best pick. Today's photo shows us a truly monstrous creature. This snapshot has been around the internet for years and has since been outed as a hoax. With that said, countless unidentified sea monsters have washed up on shore. One of them is coming up next. Number 3. The Beast of Indonesia. 37-year-old fisherman Asril Tuana Kota from the island of Seram, Indonesia, was the first to discover this thing washed up on the beach. Initially, he mistook it for a boat in shallow water, but once he got closer, it turned out to be the rotting corpse of a 50-foot-long dead sea creature. It was truly a gruesome sight. This mysterious creature had lost so much blood that it dyed the water near the coastline a bright red. But despite the bloody liquid, brave people waded into the water just to take a closer look and even took pictures. Now, you might be asking, what in the world is that large beast? Well, according to experts, they say that it is probably the remains of a baleen whale in an advanced state of decomposition. However, when massive whales die, they sink to the bottom of the ocean. Which brings us to another question. How in the world did it end up here? No one knows for sure. Number 2. A pod of whales. To see a single beached whale is bad enough, but nothing is more sad than to see a whole pod of them in this sorry predicament. Several young bull sperm whales were found near the town of Friedrichskoog in Germany, just off the North Sea. According to the Schleswig-Holstein Regional Environmental Authority, the whales were lying close together in a restricted area of the Wadensee National Park. This wasn't the first stranding that happened though. Just 3 weeks before these bulls were beached, 12 other sperm whales were found scattered around other sites on the North Sea. Since the 1990s, 82 of them have been found beached in the Wadensee. Which begs the question, why do whales keep getting stranded there? Authorities believe that during the whales' migration, some of these individuals mistakenly wind up in the shallow waters of the North Sea. This made it difficult for them to use their acoustic orientation to navigate, leaving them stranded on the beach. That said, wildlife protection groups also blame underwater noise caused by sea traffic and oil platforms for interfering with these acoustic signals. Well, whatever the reason is, it's clear that something has to be done to prevent future strandings. Number 1. A whale full of garbage. In December 2019, a sperm whale weighing at 22 tons had become stuck in a sandbank on a remote beach on the Scottish Isle of Harris. As documented on this video, whales being washed ashore isn't really that uncommon of a story. However, with this particular whale, what sets it apart from the others is that it contained more than 220 pounds of ocean trash in its stomach. A necropsy performed on the whale days after uncovered the disgusting contents of the whale's stomach. It had pounds and pounds of trash that included parts of nets, bundles of rope, plastic cups, bags, packing strap, and tubing. According to the Scotland Marine Animal Stranding Scheme, or SMASS or SMAS, the trash was like a huge ball in its stomach, with some of it looking like it had been in there for quite a while already. See you guys next time.